Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, the 144,000 men that are doing this work in sincerity and in truth around the four corners of the earth. And much love to the one-third and the innumerable multitude of you believers out there. To you all, I say Shalom. I'm the brother Yeshai, and I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson is edifying through the Spirit. All right. So I woke up this morning and I got some news reports and some things coming across my phone. And so, if you know what Elon Musk, his agenda has been. So, if you all aren't aware, Elon Musk is, first off, he was born in South Africa. He is an Edomite and probably a Temanite through the Spirit. But which he has been placed in, up until recently, he was placed in a position of somewhat control. He was put as one of the heads of the Doge Committee, which is Department of Governmental Efficiency. So before he was assisting Donald Trump, President Musk he was always, they had a long interview last year. He was always basically talking about reducing the American financial debt, reducing its deficit that it has. There's been a big part in him because you know that you can never truly be a power if you're indebted to other people, right? The lender, the borrower is a slave to the lender. Is that a scripture? Something along those lines. Let me see here. The borrower is a slave to the lender. That's it. It says Proverbs 22:7. It says, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Okay? So you can't be the person who's just constantly in debt to people. So how much more a country that's an extreme amount of debt, right? The scriptures talk about how they are laden with thick clay, right? Which is synonymous with extreme amounts of debt. All right. So the best way to shake back from that is to, he's looking like, of course you can't fix everything. So the best thing to do is cut off where you're allocating huge sums of money to reduce the debt. So that has been his agenda for those who aren't aware. So supposedly, I believe the number is that he had 180 days to be as an acting member, but not to be taken on as a full-time employee. So he had his time, and basically they released him recently. Okay, and so Elon Musk sends a tweet up yesterday or today. Excuse me one second. Sorry about that. It says breaking. Elon Musk calls for the United States to withdraw all funding to the United States. And so, this is on X, aka Twitter. People started commenting, yes, withdraw from the UN. It says some people was writing every single last penny must be withdrawn. We must withdraw from NATO, and we must secure our borders. Canada is a weakness, and they must join the United States as the 51st state. All right, they're saying and NATO. So they're talking about the UN and NATO. I believe majority of Americans support this statement and will support the decision when it happens. It's imperative that we focus solely on our country for once and not the many other ungrateful countries that have taken advantage of us for decades. So people don't realize what they're saying. People don't realize the state of the world. People don't realize how people really feel about Americans, man. This is why pride brings it to a great fall, man. This is exactly why. You can see why America is going to be taken out. These people are simpletons, man. Now, do I understand the premise that you're paying too much money. They don't really the people are feel like they're being robbed. That you want to save some money, absolutely. Excuse me, absolutely. I get the concept, but the way they're going about it is not the right way. All right, they say in the world, if you really want to upset a man, hit him where it hurts. And generally, for a wealthy man, that's his pockets. All right, so now we're living in a world of Edomites that are been dealing with greed. They're greedy. They're bloodthirsty. They only care about money. Okay, so I'm gonna come back and read some of these soon enough. But there's another guy named Gunther. It says it's time to leave NATO and the UN, and Elon Musk said, "I agree." Okay, so now let's get into this a little bit. All right, so NATO, the UN is United Nations. All right, you got the NATO North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It says it's a military alliance of 32 countries from North America and Europe, established in 1949 to safeguard the freedom and security of its members. Its primary goal is to provide collective defense against threats, ensuring that an attack on one member is considered an attack on all. Okay, so they wanted to create this sort of solidarity to be able to keep all of them safe. So you got the UN, EU, NATO. You got this dependency upon the beast system, but you can understand how that can turn around to bite you in the ass, if you will. All right, and that's what a lot of people just don't understand. All right, this will be the greatest and worst decision that Babylon has ever made. All right, let me say that again. This would be the greatest and worst decision that Babylon has ever made. Now, we don't know what the thing is that's going to turn them to where they just turn on America. But I can see it being something financial. You know, if they to withdraw that funding, it's going to be ridiculous, man. I'm gonna get some numbers for it soon. But let me read these. This is Revelation 13 and verse 15. It says, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." Right? So that's not Cesare Borgia. That's not a so-called white man. These are talking about kingdoms and powers. All right? And the image of the beast that the Roman ideology created in the earth. So when you read the scriptures and it talks about the 7 heads and the 10 horns, you got the 7 heads, the Greeks, the Romans, Germana Major, Germana Minor, the French, the Spanish, and the British. And out of Britain came Babylon, right? And the 10 horns is, referring to the European Union, right? Which was originally 12, all right? But basically EEC, right? That's what the European Union was at first. And so they basically, those are like vassal states of Rome and America, all right? Lesser powers that give their military and their power to Rome / the American ideology to form a beast system. That's how the whore rides the beast. So they use this as a vehicle to be able to do certain things, right? But what happens when you start severing ties and disrupting what has been done for so long? Okay? Throwing the system off. The world saying, America, you're not doing your part. You're not giving us what you used to give us. All right, so let me see if I can find this. All right, because this is important stuff, man. Let me see. See, this is why Yahweh Shem Shai tries to get our mind right so we can understand what's going on through prophecy. While you read Revelation 19, it says Yahweh is the spirit of prophecy. All right, so let me get this. I put how much funding does the NATO get from the United States of America? It says the USA is the largest contributor to NATO's common funding, which is the direct funding for the organization's budget, programs, and capabilities. It says in 2024, the U.S. contributed approximately 16% of NATO's common funds, which amounted to $753 million. That's a lot of money, y'all. All right. That's a lot of money. Sheesh. You know, but 16%. So they're giving out a lot of funds. I was just trying to read over something here. Right. They're getting a lot of money from the United States. Right. So I looked up the benefit of NATO. Right. And the benefit of NATO to the United States. It says NATO and the military alliance offers several key benefits to member nations, including collective defense, security cooperation, and the promotion of democratic values. It says it benefits the United States by providing a collective defense, boosting U.S. leadership on the global stage, and boosting the U.S. economy through trade and defense sales. NATO also helps deter aggression, supports counterterrorism efforts, and allow the U.S. to focus on other global challenges. So basically, they let the United States do what they want because they're paying them the most money. You know, breaking them off bread. This is what we're saying, man. You know, that money is not supposed to be to the point where a man is ruling over you, but they're giving it to him. They're giving them straight donations. You know. So let me see. This is Revelation 17 and verse 13. It says, "These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast." Right? Countries that they don't have their same power, the 10 horns. Right? Well, excuse me. They have one mind shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So they use the commonality to be able to give more strength to the beast and its image. The idea of having that Roman doctrine and Roman ideology, right, and do the things as they said like it was in Rome. It says, "These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them." All right, who's the Lamb? Our Lord and Savior, Yahweh. So these countries are ultimately, they're going to turn on the Lord because they're going to realize, let's put our problems to the side and fight against the Lord, but they're going to lose. It says, "For he is the Lord of lords and kings of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful." So the angels and the elect, Lord willing, we be of that number. It says, "And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." Right? So America is that whore, right, that's seeing over many people. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat the flesh, and burn her with fire." So, you know, they're going to be put in a hard situation. Americans are about to be in a bad situation because now you got EU and NATO and the beast. You got them hating you. The beast shall hate the whore. Hate. All right, this is not going to be up for debates. It says, "For the Most High put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled." So, you know, they're doing this, of this something like this were to come to pass. They're already barking up that World War III, that World War III tree, right? So you can see how very much how if they were to discontinue that funding, oh my God, you think America's going to have hell now? And they doing things for, it says, a collective defense. Right? So one of the reasons other people don't mess with you or shoot on you is because you got the backing by NATO and the EU and the UN. That's the reason that you're able to be in a position that you are. But man, it could get bad. This could get bad, man. If they take a moment and take his advice, and I know they're trying to do it, this could go bad, man. You know. Let me see. Was there something else I want to get? Bear with me 1 second. Okay, I was just trying to check something here. Let me see. Salakia. But yeah, so if they're giving them all of this money, man, you think that's going to stop? You think they aren't going to? Let me. You know what? I just thought of a scripture. You think that this is just going to keep going and they just going to be like, oh yeah, no big deal? Nah, man. Action's going to have to be taken. This is Obadiah 1:1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and then an ambassador is sitting among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Right? Her is referred to America. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right? So America is already greatly despised. They just need a reason to shoot missiles. So if they said they put up so that's where they got all their defense systems and things like that. Well, how would you? You can't stop anything. The other countries are going to hate you even more, and they're going to be revved up. Esau's is Donald Trump and them. They're putting tariffs on everybody, and while countries like EU and the NATO are trying to quote unquote keep the peace, but man, it's going to be bad for you Edomites, man. It's going to be bad for 2/3 of you Jake, man. Right? You Israelites. But, man, it's about to get real out here. Let me see here. Collective defense. Also deters. All right, I thought I saw something else there. But we're seeing how biblical prophecy ties to things that are happening in the world. All right? We're seeing that, man. And Yahweh Shem Shah is showing the world what's going on. And so next they're going to end up taking that C hip, going to be a part of the B system. Right? But if they sever those ties, right, you're already a part of the beast. You know, because they're following after the same mentality. So, but they're about to put these sea hips in people's hands. This is Revelation 13-16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the M-A-R-K, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So Revelation 15 is going to let us know the men that fought against that and that were delivered. And Lord willing, we be in that number. But it's about to get real out here, man. To a different atmosphere, if you will. Right? To the point where we're going to, Lord willing, be those men, we're going to see America be burned with fire. Because this place is utterly wicked, man. That's just what it comes down to. And so if they withdraw that funding, if they take that away, sheesh. Well, how much is that? $730 million, did he say? $753 million. You know the change that could make in America, but not if you do it to rob your backing system, right? So now they're going to basically say there's an all out party, you know, a thing that's all out and going just for what? They're going to go out with a bang, all right? This is not profitable. Whoever is advising them, it's really the Spirit of the Lord that's on him, so his will can be fulfilled. Because really, in the sight of things, it's not a good... I can see financially how it's wise, but it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Some things you just got to take the L on. But according to prophecy, we're going to start seeing of things that the wicked are going to do to try to maintain and stay afloat. Right? But yeah, how about Shemal Shai got our backs, man. But this is about to get real. And Elon out here saying stuff, but not knowing the consequence and what could really happen. And let's be real, he don't care no way. He like, I ain't American. I come over here sometimes when I need to. You know? But that's the mentality of most of these people, man. You know, their ways are off, you know? And so Yahweh Shema Shah is getting ready to destroy these people right along with this beast system. Lord willing, Revelation 15, we looking down on this place getting burnt alive, man. You know? It's about to get real. It's about to go down. And Lord willing, it comes sooner than later, man. You know? Let me see here. I think that was all the scriptures I really wanted to get. You know, there's not room for not understanding prophecy. Matter of fact, let me get that in Revelation 19. For not understanding prophecy, there's no example. I mean, there's no reason. The Lord has got his men out there been telling the world for ages. Let me see. What did I say I was gonna get? Revelation. I hate when that happens. Damn flesh, man. The damn flesh. But yeah, man, this place is about to fall. So when we about to see thermonuclear missiles getting sent over here, right? Joel, the 3rd chapter. You know, it says they begin to shoot the arrows, and they shall not miss, and that when they be shot to the ends of the earth. Man, these missiles about to come from all different directions. And according to the book of Joel, maybe that's what I was going to. Ain't no bounds. Ain't nobody be held up. Ain't gonna be no no movie type stuff where everything's getting deflected. It's not working out. Hey, the Lord he got a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, man. Let me see if I can find the verse that I'm looking for. Sheesh. This is Joel 2 and 8. It says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his paths, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So this is letting you know that everything's gonna be all right, and these missiles are gonna come down and rain on America, right? The missiles are not gonna thrust against each other. They're gonna walk in this path. They're gonna do to the coordinate. When you do missiles and stuff, they have coordinates. They're gonna go to the exact coordinates, and when they fall upon the sword, they should not be wounded. So, any battle material, right? So it says they shall fall upon the sword. So they have like the sparks and the flares to be able to blow your missile up. Man, that's gonna happen regardless, man. Right? And work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. It says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall, and they shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Just talking about the devastation that America is about to receive. And these are talking about thermonuclear missiles. All right, these are thermonuclear missiles that are about to be taking place. All right, they're gonna come down and they're gonna burn this place with fire. Because of the pride and the wickedness, man. The wickedness, man. It's gotta be burnt up. It's gotta be burnt up, man. It's gotta go through the spirit, you know. Let me see here. But yeah, NATO and you, man, they keep eyes on stuff like this. You don't think they hear about that? Now, I think it's ways that they need to shorten the American debt, but at least have a conversation. It hasn't happened, but have a conversation with them about making it work on a different plane instead of just taking the money. What are we doing? How can we reallocate some of these funds? Is it anything that we're paying you this high percentage? What is it really for? You know, God, they're doing stuff, you know. But it's ultimately going to come down to, this might be the thing. Eventually, Donald Trump will be like, you know what, we need to go ahead and make that cut. But hey, man, it ain't wise. Then you just going to have all these different countries mad at you, hate you, saying you break covenants left and right. But we know that's what they do. But since they are devils, they all trying to get upon on one another, right? But Yahweh Shema Shah give us the unction. It says, Joel 2:10, the earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble, and the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. So the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going to be with the Lord and with his prophets. But at that time, when the missiles come, hey, man, it's like everybody going to want to be saved in. It says, and the Lord shall utter for his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. He is strong that exalted his word. It says, for he is strong that executed his word, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? So who can abide it, man? It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And now all these countries are going to turn their back. The MOTB is going to come out. It's going to be a flawless victory on this place, man. But hey, man, Lord willing, that do happen, some kind of way. Elder Apostle says, we don't know exactly how it's going to happen. But the Lord going to put something in their spirit to make it happen. It's probably their pocket. It's usually money, women, for niggas in the world, money, women, greed, status, popularity, things like that. But, I pray, Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying. I'm going to wrap it up here. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and mercy to the elect. Until next time, Shalom.